know who needs to hear this, but you're not stuck. You're just inconsistent and you lack discipline. Real bad. We're literally only 1 month until the new year, and some of you have already broken promises that you made to yourself. Some of you have said that this was your year, this year is different, this time is different, and somehow you've managed to stray away from your goals already. So let's talk about what the real issue is. But before we do that, let me introduce myself. Jesus, I will leave you never, never, never. You're my always and forever, ever, ever. Hey babes, welcome to the Holy AF podcast, Holy and Forgiven that is. I'm your host, Mercedes. Call me your internet accountability partner. I've been seeing some people slip already. This cycle is literally never ending. This new year, new me, new goals, new whatever, it is literally never ending. So there's something about the new year that makes us feel like we've been given another chance at life, right? It always seems as like a refresher or something. We take the time to rebrand, we reinvent ourselves. We make new vision boards, we buy new planners, write so many different things in it, set new goals, and just the list goes on. We do this thing every single year. There are some of us that start talking different. Some of us start thinking different. Some of us start acting different. Some of us start walking different. And somehow, some way, January, the month of January, has a way of making us feel like we've been released from our old lives. So for the first 2 weeks, the energy is insane. And I gotta say, that is an amazing energy that's always put out in the air. Like, you can feel the energy of new or fresh or the energy of a restart. Like, you can feel it within those first 2 weeks of the new year, and not only from yourself, like just from everybody. Like, you can feel it. It's like something, it's like a universal tension, but a good one, a good universal tension in the atmosphere that all of us feel within the first 2 weeks of January. You see everyone taking on new tasks or taking on new challenges, and people getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. People are going to the gym every day consistently. People are eating better. People are focusing a lot more on themselves and taking more time out for themselves. People are praying more. And you can just tell people are just so locked in. That first 2 week energy of January is insane. And everybody feels it. But then right after that, something happens. And we go into week 3 and week 4 of January, and there's this slow transition. It begins to happen and none of us ever even notices it. Like, we don't even realize that the transition is happening. It just happens. And a lot of us see it every year, right? Suddenly work gets busier. Suddenly the baby is keeping you up. You're more tired. You're exhausted. You're battling your thoughts every day. And then you miss a day. And then you miss 2. And then you miss 5. And there goes your goals. There goes your consistency. There goes your discipline. Dumped into the rabbit hole of the life challenges. When that happens, you feel like maybe my routine just wasn't a realistic routine in the first place, or maybe my goals just weren't attainable. Maybe I was just wishful thinking. These are your thoughts. These are the thoughts that you're battling now. Now that things have transitioned a bit, these are the thoughts that you battle in your head every day. Your daily routine suddenly feels unrealistic. So what was it? I don't think a lot of us realize what has happened in that transition. And on top of that, I think a lot of us try to find different things to blame in life. And the only blame should be pointed at you. I am not trying to step on any toes, but somebody, I don't know who it is, somebody needs to hear this. I can tell you that during that transition, nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong. Just regular life is happening. God did not change in that transition. Your goals did not change in that transition. You still want what you want when you want it. Your calling, the calling that you have on your life did not change. But one thing that did change were your feelings. Suddenly, you don't feel like it. Suddenly, you have allowed how you feel and your emotions to consume you. You have given your emotions and your feelings power over you. You have given it power over your day-to-day, over how you move, over how you wake up in the morning or what time you wake. You have given your emotions all the power in the world, and everybody knows that living based off of emotions, not good. And that is what causes you to feel stuck. This is a very sad cycle that a lot of us, more than a majority of us, go through, believe it or not. Like, the percentage of people that I feel like that stick to their routine and are very successful in life, I feel like that percentage in comparison to the entire world's population is fairly small. And it's quite sad, but I think it's fairly small. And there's a sad cycle where every January we restart the same life. Some of us have new visions with the same discipline. How is that going to work? Some of us have new goals with the same old consistency levels. How is that going to work? And it ends up just being a new year with the same old patterns. What a waste of time. What a waste of life. And I'm not saying this to shame anyone because, hello, me too, been there, done that. I just feel like I've had a wake up moment. I've had a aha moment. I've had a reality check recently. And I feel like somebody else needs to hear this. So I said all of that to say, you're the problem, babe. There's nothing else to blame. You are the blame. And it's okay. That's okay. But you need to be able to acknowledge that. Take accountability and acknowledge that you're not where you want to be because of you. You're not doing what you want to do because of you. You lack consistency. You lack discipline. Motivation is not always going to be there. So you need to find a different way to make yourself get up every day. And that's where discipline comes in. The problem isn't necessarily the plan that you have. The problem is you can't seem to follow through and keep your word. Keep your word to yourself at that. That's even worse. We're not even talking about keeping your word with other people. Keeping your word to yourself. You can't even keep your word to yourself. That's a problem. So what now? What's next? What do you do? If this is you, what do you do now? Like, how do you get back to that routine? How do you get back to that energy you had within the first 2 weeks of January? I've got to be completely honest. I'm a very firm believer that all good things start with God and God alone. Now, some of y'all went out there and made those plans and created that vision board and set those new goals and didn't even talk to God about it. Didn't even pray over it. You just out here doing stuff. You out here thinking that you controlling everything. You out here thinking that you have all the power. And you do to a certain extent, but God has the power first. So making plans without God being in the plans, or without even praying over your plans, I don't know how far you thought you were going to get anyways. So maybe you should restart there. Maybe it's time to relock back in. But start with God first. How about you just go pray for a minute? Ask God to show you what it is that you're supposed to be doing. What it is that He has for you over what is your calling? What is the calling that He has over your life? Ask Him. And God isn't confusing. He'll answer it one way or another. You'll have a dream. You'll suddenly see a post, or you'll suddenly see have a random conversation with someone you've never met. Something will happen and a light bulb will click on, and you will realize that is what God is telling you to do. But first you have to take some time out and talk to Him and ask Him. Another reason why I think it's important for us to put God first is because when we put God first and we take God seriously, it kind of keeps us going in a way. You know, it's one of those things where if you know God has called you to do something and you start to slack off, you will feel conviction. Conviction is good. Conviction is great because that's the one thing that will, if nothing else does, that's the one thing that'll reel you back into reality and put you back on track. And also, allowing God to be on the path with you gives you easy access to His strength. You're not going to always feel like doing these things. You're not always going to feel like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. You're not always going to feel like going to the gym. You're not always going to feel like showing up for that job that God has you in for now. But you can't always lean on your own strength. You have to have something else that you lean on. And it should be God. You can use God's strength to help push you through every single day until you reach the next stepping stone, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So first things first, put God first. See what I did there? Put God first and let Him roll your boat, okay? Let God drive the boat. Directly after that, I think there's 3 important steps that you can take to relock in. And the first one is to just decide what you want again. First, decide that you want what you want again. Choose it again, okay? And that's more of a mental thing. Choose it again, but choose it for real this time and mean it. But when you do that, do yourself a favor and stop romanticizing your goals. And instead, because all of us can sit here and fantasize about where we want to be and where we're going to be once we get through the process, but that's not helping us get through the process. This is not. So stop romanticizing the goals and start committing to the process instead. The goal is always going to be there. The goal is always going to be there at the end of the tunnel. It's not going anywhere. It's always going to be there. You need to focus on where you are in the process, right? So shift your mindset to think like that instead, okay? Step two is an action that you need to take. And I think a lot of us, we have a problem with putting too much on our plate at one time, especially when things are new. Like if you are trying to develop new habits or obtain new goals, some of us just throw so much on our plate. Like all of a sudden, for example, you've been waking up your entire life at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and now you want to wake up at 5. It's a lot easier said than done, babe. I remember when I was getting into my routine of waking up at 5, I had to break it down into smaller increments. So that's the step. Break everything down into smaller amounts or lesser amounts, smaller increments. When I was starting my routine of waking up at 5 some years ago, I had this thing where usually I wake up at 7. So I had this thing where I would just set my alarm back about 30 minutes every week until I got down to 5 a.m. No, actually until I got down to 4:30. Because I wanted to get to a point where I can be at the gym by 5. So what I did was, for the first week that I started, I set my alarm instead of 7, I set it for 6:30. The next week, after I accomplished the 6:30, I set it for 6. The next week, I set it for 5:30. The next week, I set it for 5. Try that instead of just going all in and thinking that you're still human. Like, you're still human at the end of the day. Like, it's only so much you're going to be able to do. Instead of, if you want to start working out, it's not as simple as jumping in there. And let me tell you something, though. Don't walk up in that gym and jump on that Stairmaster and think you finna do it for 10 minutes. If you ain't never worked out a day in your life, you finna learn something real quick. So instead, make a goal to do the Stairmaster for 2 minutes. And as you get better, you'll increase your time and increase the level that you're doing it at. But just break everything down. If you want to read a book, commit to reading 3 pages a day, and then increase it to 5, and then increase it to 10. Try that. Try to break things down into smaller increments, because you're only human, and breaking old habits is not easy at all. It's not meant to be. We're not made to do that easily. It's just only Jesus can do that, okay? We trying to be like Jesus, but we're not Jesus, okay? So be easy on yourself and take little steps at a time. You'll get there. And lastly, you need to stop negotiating with yourself. When I say that, I mean you need to stop battling your thoughts. Some of us have this thing where we try our best to find a good excuse as to why we shouldn't do this thing today. Oh no, it's raining. I'm not going to make it to the gym today. My tires aren't good. Oh no, it's so cold outside. I don't have a heavy coat. I don't need to be sick, so I'm just going to stay inside. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm just going to do some workouts at home. I can say that because I've done it. I have said that, and not once have I ever done any of those workouts at home. I'm the type of person, disclaimer, I'm the type of person where I have to be in the gym. Like, that's just being in the gym around other people that are working out and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it kind of makes me do more. I'm not a workout at home type person. But in the past, I would use an excuse and be like, I'm just going to do some home workouts. I'll be fine. Like, I'm still going to get my day in. I'll go for a walk. I'll go run. Who am I lying to? I'm lying to myself. So stop negotiating with yourself. To be honest with you, most of your inconsistency isn't because life is hard, but it's because for some reason you argue with yourself every day about whether or not you're going to push through and get that thing done today, or if for whatever reason, whatever excuse you have, you're going to push it to the next day. And then the next day ends up being to the next 3 days, and the next 3 days ends up being a whole week later. Like, you're inconsistent because you negotiate with yourself too much. Stop doing that. That's not getting you anywhere. If you take those 3 steps, I think it'll be all you need. Well, bonus 4 steps. It'll be all you need to lock back in and actually stay locked in. So I really hope this serves as a quick wake-up call for some of you. I don't know, even for one of you. Like, I don't know who this is for, but you needed to hear this, okay? If you're feeling convicted, if you feel hit, holla, because a hit dog gonna holla. I hope that this checked your reality. And do yourself a favor. Stop trying to have a perfect year. Everything is not going to be perfect. Instead, try having a consistent year. Just try to be consistent. Some days you're not gonna be doing the same amount of stuff every day. But as long as you're doing something, one day you can be able to get an hour workout in. The next day you can be like, baby, I can only push through 30 minutes. That's okay, but just stay consistent for the rest of the year and see how far it takes you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this has helped any of you, or if you know someone that's struggling with this type of thing, then please share it with them and let them know they're not alone. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care. Jesus, I will leave you